Hail and well met. Welcome to the epic conclusion, dun dun dun, of book one of our Isekai Realms campaign. I'm really looking forward to this. It's been a long time coming. I believe when this show is airing, will be around the spooky season, so I hope you're enjoying that. And I'm sure something scary will happen in the game. But before we get to that, I am Eric Scott DeB. I'm a writer, game designer. Uh, I stream a lot. I'm sure you've seen me on this channel. Um, and you can find my stuff online. And down in the doobly doo, there will be links. Anyway, I am playing myself. I call myself Elric Thalavar, and I am an aspiring paladin. Has any paladin stuff happened yet? But I'm still working on it. Take
You're
it
a you're
away,
a
Allie.
you're a preladin.
I'm a preladin.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford. I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer, and I am playing Amara Valerian, aka me, in elf form. And I am a thief and kind of leaning into it a little bit at this point. Because why not? But before I move on, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mahen from the Brimstone Angels novels. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, the Epic Games Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
Woo.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held, professional archaeologist and writer. I write urban fantasy under Rhiannon Held and space opera under RZ Held. And I have two dice partners to tell you about. North Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. You can find their dice and accessories at northfoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com.
Hi, Randy, playing Randonius, Bard, and I guess the drummer in the band, which is unfortunate because drummers are usually the ones that get replaced or die. So, but I guess it's kind of appropriate. We'll see how it goes.
Can't say that in the season finale. Oh no. All right. Hello, everybody.
So
I'm
many
Joel
death
Ellis.
flags. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually one of your mods posting polls in chat under the handle Rumpus Imperator. Like everybody else, I'm playing a version of myself. However, I have been transformed into a dwarf by a family curse, and I have not adopted an adventuring pseudonym. Chris?
All right, and I am your noble dungeon master, Chris, aka Chris the Gray. Yeah, I know, right, Eric? And I like to think I'm noble. Let's call it that. And as we pick up our session, the PCs have, in many ways, actually sort of transformed within their first day of adventuring in the realms into heroes in their own right. They just, with the assistance of Jamal, but largely under their own steam, saved nearly 24 slaves from the hold of a Thavan slave ship, rescued Gedrin, and they are slipping off into the night. Things looking up quite a bit from the conclusion of our previous episode with the unfortunate death and disaster in the Purple Lady. It's amazing how far you can come in just a few hours with the proper training and the proper mindset. And what's more, Jamal, their patron, is buoyed by that victory and their ability to work together and has apparently a plan to save the city. So, on that note, anything else you want to do before we pledge right in?
As we're going away from the ship,
Yes.
I'm going to sort of drop back to try to be near Randy. And are you have you put the femurs away, or are you still sort of still holding them?
I'm just walking along with them.
Okay, so I'm going to basically swipe both of them and be like, give me that.
Okay, you just had to ask. Yeah. I just didn't want them to, get them back is all. So.
All right. Well, I would like to be a little bit respectful. Just saying. So I'm gonna I don't really have a pack on me or anything, but I'm gonna sort of cradle them in one arm, and these can go on the pyre with Finnan.
Roll a
Bone
20.
doesn't burn, but at least it can be sort of with the rest of the cremains.
Roll a 20-sided die for me, Rhiannon.
Okay. I put it away for once. Let's grab this guy back again.
You'll need it throughout the evening.
11.
Okay. You'll notice that these are of a very closely matching length, so probably from the same person. They're somewhat delicate, but still reasonably lengthy. So it was either a petite person, a thin person, or quite possibly not a human. Probably not a dwarf, so maybe an elf. And it's not easy to pick this up, but you're sort of really looking at them closely since you're, observing them and you're cradling them and treating them with a certain, level of dignity.
Well,
Yep.
I have had human osteology, so
Got it. There are some faint etchings on them that are probably a consequence of someone very subtly carving runes that make the magic associated with what was going on work. So just since you're examining them, you'll come to those conclusions. Okay.
They are demure femurs.
Indeed. All right. So doing that, we will pick up the action with you all creeping through the streets, following Jamal, her flight is still active. Your flight, Allie, and your flight, Eric, is also still active, but you are operating off of a potion, so that's going to give out before Jamal's spell will. And she'll pop up from time to time to rooftop level to look around to guide you all back, because you have 23 more people than you had when you left. There are about 8 women and 14 men plus Gedrin that are traveling along with you here. So you're all sort of arrayed to keep them in the middle and to protect them. And it's a little bit harder to move quietly and stealthily with that many people, especially since some of them are helping the others to move. But again, you're taking a straight shot back, which means not as circuitous a route as getting here. You didn't have to search. So by the time that you're sort of clearing the area and getting back to Briar House, it's probably, 4:30 in the morning or so. That sort of false dawn is starting to creep over the edge of the horizon, and the streets are very quiet and very empty at this hour, because now it's sort of too late to this and too early to that, and you're going into Shield Meet, a holiday. When you're about 3 or 4 blocks away from the house, your fly potions will quit one after the other. First yours, Eric, and then yours, Allie. And if you're a couple inches off the ground, that'll be a little bit of a stumble, but you won't fall. They just cut out when they cut out. And Jamal, when she sees that happen, will get on the ground so that she's prepared for her spell to end. As you arrive back at Briar House, like I said, about 4:30, you left the docks maybe about 4. The adrenaline of the fight and the tension of the trip and the exultation of victory are all sort of warring with each other. And most of you are starting to get tired. It is, after all, pretty late at night. And even though you slept sort of late into the middle of this day, it's been a long one. The only person who's not really experiencing that is Joel with his dwarven constitution. You could march for a few more hours if you needed to, Joel. When you arrive, Jamal will tell you to take the people into the back gardens while she goes around to the front and has the doors opened to get you through the back. We don't want to send this many people. We'll take them through the alleys as opposed to bringing them through the front door. I've done what I can to throw off pursuit, and we did leave that ship aflame. She seems pleased by that, Rhiannon. And so I suspect they have much bigger problems than us, but we don't want to invite more trouble than we need to invite. So you'll take them into the rose gardens in the back. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll give Jamal her wand back as well. One and her potions, I didn't use mine, so.
Got it. All right.
Hand those back.
She'll tell you to keep the potions, but she'll take the wand. Okay. Eric, Gedrin has been following along in your wake this whole time. He believes you to be his father. And so he is behaving towards you as though that is who you are. And not just his father, but his father, who has somehow been transformed into a hero and sent by Helm himself So, he's looking up at you with that sense of awe and wonder. There hasn't really been a lot of time for communication along the way, and he looks like he's probably getting sleepy because at the end of the day, he's a boy. Anything special?
Yeah, I ought to pick him up and carry him.
Okay, you'll do that, and he'll actually nod off in your arms if you do that on the way. So he's asleep against your shoulder when you arrive at the house. So you'll all go into the back with all the people, and in just a few moments, Jamal will come and open the rear doors for you. That'll allow you to sort of hustle everyone inside. The largest section of the house is the entry hall and the sort of like chambers off to the left with the big fireplace, the sitting room. And so Mercy and Varys and the lad are all up, anxiously waiting for people to return. Mercy has the sleeping babies cradled against her. She's got a sling that she's using to keep one on one side and one on the other. And you'll guide all of the people that you've rescued into the main lobby, hall, and sitting room. And on your doing so, you'll file past the kitchen and the library where you'll see the body laid out of Finnan. Did you want Rhiannon to put the femurs there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
So
actually, I mean, I need to go burn his body. So, I won't put them with him yet because I want to like organize that, and
Gotcha.
then I'll just before burn, so they're not like sitting there.
Gotcha.
Just
So
before burn.
in the meantime, they're still in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jamal, as I said, will open the door. The freed slaves are dirty and exhausted, yet her servants will bustle around to settle them in and get them blankets and drink and food and places for them to rest, which for the moment is mostly the sitting room. You will have a few moments by yourselves before Jamal wants to sort of grab you and talk to all of you. What do you want to do when you return?
I'm gonna clean up.
So the bathroom on the first floor?
I mean,
Yeah.
you did get vomited on twice.
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 Yeah,
Would
I'm gonna
somebody
go.
help me carry Finnan.
I'll help.
Yeah.
I am going to give the sleeping child
Mhm.
to Mercy.
Okay. Mercy is now balancing all three of them.
Poor Mercy.
Is it all right if I put them on the couch? I need to help and get blankets and okay. So she'll do that and she'll nestle the three of them on the sort of long couch in there, and they're all kind of cutely arrayed around each other. Okay. So I'm sorry, was someone trying to move Finnan's body? Because if that's the case, you might need to talk to Jamal about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was my plan. But
Okay. But if anything else you wanted to say to each other before you got to that.
Thank you. I want to appreciate all of your efforts in making that happen. I know that was a big risk, but it was very important.
This is Jamal you're talking to?
No, I'm telling the rest of the
Oh,
team
the rest of
this.
the team. Sorry.
It had to be done.
But
And I apologize for sort of misleading you about whether I was going to go on the boat or not.
But the captain of that ship, the lady, apparently was not present. So that is one more person who is out to get us in this town.
Yep.
I will say again, I think it's time that, I'm willing to hear what Jamal's plan is, but I think it may be time for us to make plans for getting out of Westgate with a quickness.
hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
So
I'm gonna get cleaned up.
And on that note, I'd like to get the vomit off of me, please.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. So you'll do that. Jamal will come out to the remaining four of you. You can tell she's buzzing with energy. Like she's not tired. She's revitalized by the activities that you've been engaged in. And I've neglected to mention this to you before. It just sort of slipped my mind as I was going. She's been nipping on a potion all evening long, an extra healing potion. She's taken 3 swigs of it, once when you began, once when you were getting aboard the ship, and once when you were just about to come back. And that's sort of easing the pain in her leg. So she's also a bit energized by virtue of the fact that she's basically been drinking Red Bull all night long. And I'm told
self-medicating. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm told that gives you
she's
wing.
high.
A little bit, I'm sure.
Now I'm really nervous about her plan.
Okay. But
My
she
lady,
just be-
thank you.
It could just be like steroids, which
Yeah.
is Still doping, but doesn't get you high.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't affect. It doesn't affect her comprehension. It's just giving her a good mood.
Don't know that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You know what
Yes.
she's on.
You can
She
assume.
feels powerful, and the
There you go.
chronic pain is alleviated.
There you go. Exactly. Like oxycodone
Which
or
is
something like that.
I mean, might be high on endorphins for all we know.
There you go.
All right.
High on dolphins.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, back to her talking to you. So you, Allie, can kind of hear the conversation because remember we've got quite keen ears from where you're cleaning up on the first floor, which is not far from where this conversation is occurring, which is sort of in the hallway in between the kitchen, the library, and the great hall. And she will say, is Amara? Oh, she must be cleaning up. I want to speak to you all in the kitchen. I have the kernel of an idea. I know we were talking about a way to try to get to Thistle, but I think we need to do more. And I think Thistle's the key to all of this. So if you have a moment.
Of course.
I'll meet you there.
Okay.
Take care of the pyre. With that, may I?
Pyre?
And
where you wish
For
to.
Finnan.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something that that can wait until the morning? It was my intention to do so at noon in the rose garden behind the house.
If we're still here.
Well, yes, if we're not off doing the mission that I have in mind. Understood. We could take care of this before that if that would be helpful.
Yeah. Let's talk and then
Good.
go from there.
Excellent. I'll pour us some ElfRequest. I have a bottle I've been saving for a situation just like this one. Join me when Amara is ready. Okay, so you have a moment again before Amara finishes cleaning up to talk amongst the four of you.
She definitely doesn't want us to leave.
I mean, we've just done a lot, and I get it, but I'm going home, so.
Right.
I mean,
I
didn't sign on to turn into a hero in Westgate or anywhere else for that matter. So.
Right.
Do we have a path to home? Like, is there? I forget. I mean, is there?
Well, I do have that friend who's a very powerful wizard, but he's in Waterdeep, not here.
Okay. So is that our one choice is to head to Waterdeep, evaluate whatever Mara asks us against heading to Waterdeep? Is that our choice?
Whatever Jamal asks us to
or
do.
Jamal.
No worries. Yeah. Well, heading to Waterdeep seems like our best option to get home. I'm not sure what other wizards would even know what we're talking about if we but my friend would know.
Yeah. So, because I mean, we do this mission and then we do the next mission and then that leads to a mission, which leads to a mission, which leads to a mission.
Exactly.
Basically. So, and if we're following the dreams we had, because I feel like, whoever brought us here will probably only let us go home if we fulfill the dreams. So we'll probably need to take the tiefling babies with us because that's sort of what my passenger wants.
As if summoned, that would be a very wise course of action. After all, we can only protect them when we are with them, and we've spent enough time away from them already tonight.
Okay. So, yes, on the taking the babies. So then I think we need to move on out of Westgate because we've accomplished the thing with Gedrin. So.
Right. Unless we're going to take Gedrin with us as well. My dream was basically about protecting him. Perhaps leaving him. Perhaps leaving him under Jamal's
we'll be safer
care
here. Yes.
will be safer than taking him with us.
Anybody gonna comment on the whole dad thing? Or you figure Eric will handle that on his own?
I do have an idea for handling that, but
you'll break it to him when he's awake tomorrow morning.
Or
I'll write him a Dear Gedrin letter.
sorry, Daddy has to go be a hero.
Something
feel
like
like
that.
we're leaving
Sorry.
this place.
Helm only let me out for one night.
There you go. It's like the ending from the movie AI. I cry every time. Randy?
Oh.
I just gonna say I feel like we've left this place better than we found it, and that's what more could you ask for?
Okay, and
To
Allie, you're
destroy
done
yeah.
from cleaning the filth off of yourself.
Yes.
So you are now ready to rejoin the rest of the party who's been waiting outside of the bathroom door. And
You
then
come out, we're all grim faced. We're like,
Oh, I did catch most of that, probably.
yeah,
Oh, you did,
right.
yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So
Right, because elven ears, yeah.
Well, plus thief.
that's it then. We're
Yeah.
just going to leave.
We're going to hear Jamal out.
Fair enough. I know. Well, we need to figure out what's going on, and I doubt we can do it here. As much as I don't want to leave, I'm
Well,
also know I'm outvoted. So
Well, I mean, you don't have to come with us. You can stay where you like.
I
You
mean,
could stay.
I promise to help. I'm going to help.
You have helped us. I don't want to stand in the way of your happiness. Look, I saw how you looked at Alira.
What is? Look,
This is to you,
we're not
Rhiannon.
done.
If you're going to shed an associate, I have a recommendation about which one to shed.
I'm gonna say I feel it feels
man.
like people are trying to pressure Allie into making one choice or another. I'm gonna say, Allie, whatever you choose to do, we'll support.
I made my choice already. Don't
Okay.
split the party, right?
Yeah.
Very well.
Well, so I out of curiosity, let's hear it.
Elric, that giant fool. But you knew I'd
Okay, so
say that.
it's still your helm thing. Yeah, I'm getting that.
You've really a belief that I have something against Helm. I don't. As I said, fools and Helm's a fool. Helm's a fool served by a fool. I have a thing against all fools.
Okay.
Okay. And on that note, are you ready to enter the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll come into the kitchen. You will see that Jamal has cracked out the good glasses. These are actually crystal decanters and a clearly old bottle of elven wine. You can smell the bouquet from it, Allie. Hey, it's better than the stuff they served in the Purple Lady. And you guys paid a lot of money for that. Shield your lap, Eric, or you may find it ends up there.
I am definitely excited now.
All right. And she's poured a number of glasses equal to the number of you, so half a dozen. And she will begin handing them out to all of you. And it is clear she is about to give a toast, waiting for all of you to have your glasses in hand. Okay. Once you do, she will say, "To cheap heroes," and take a sip. Everyone's like,
I mean, I'm wetting my lips. Is
Okay.
about all.
Yeah,
I mean, we
Gotcha.
Hold it up.
we really need a better name than that. She's gonna take a
Oh,
sip.
that is just what you are, not what you can call yourselves. Shadowbane, Nightingale. I missed the one you said, Randonius. It had a certain zip to it.
Captain Salt
Randonius
Pepperbeard?
Imperius Hendersonius or
No, the great pirate
Salt and Pepperbeard. I'm in
Salt and
effect.
Pepperbeard.
That's right.
Clear she doesn't know quite what that means, but
Why?
she will say, "It has been some time since I have done something like that, faced that kind of danger, and done that much good. And it is a shame that it took the death of a good man to get me to do it." To Finnan, she will gesture in the direction of the library and take a sip. It's delightful wine. Best thing you've had in your mouth since you've arrived here.
Finnan.
To Finnan. Anybody else have any? Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Moving on.
But
Boy.
the Rebel Street Theater, it certainly beats. And no matter how well-intentioned that sort of thing can only go so far, I know we had a plan there, but in desperate dark times like these, action is needed. And I've got a plan for action. Tomorrow, when the nobles are assembled at the Great Plaza, we're not just going to try to get a message to Thistle. We're going to rescue Thistle. I am more convinced than ever that my friend is under dark magic. That's why that foul woman kept you from her and sent Gedrin into his doom. We'll use the distraction of that street performance to get close, grab her during broad daylight when our enemies are at their weakest. If we can free Thistle from that dark magic, we will have the full resources of House Thalavar and can finally put things right.
So your plan is to kidnap
Yes,
the noble head of a household, and you think this is a
And-
good idea.
I think it's a
And
fantastic
while-
idea.
While all of the other nobles and their security details are in the immediate area.
We just have to get our hands on her, and then we can use the elixir to dispel whatever magics are clouding her mind. And then we just count on her to rescue us. I can see that you have your doubts about this plan.
Well, so
I have my doubts about this plan.
Yes.
This plan
To-
makes Elric look wise.
to Jamal, I'm going to say, no doubt we could discuss the plan and refine it or come up with other ideas, but we can't stay in Westgate, and it would be wrong to let you continue when we already know that we have to leave. So
What? Why can't you stay in Westgate? You're Shadowbane, Nightingale. We've done so much good in one night. If we can get our hands on Thistle, why wouldn't we stay? We could save this whole damn city.
we're
And
we're trying to get.
We're wanted for multiple homicides for starters. I mean,
We don't know that for sure yet.
Not to mention a great deal of property damage.
Okay, so
Let's worry about that.
Joel will say, we're wanted for multiple homicides. I don't think she understands what wanted for multiple homicides means necessarily, Joel, but Eric will go on to say, property damage. While you're
So-
all engaged in this conversation,
Okay. I was gonna.
yeah, I know, but something else is going to happen. While you're
Okay.
all engaged in this conversation, deeply debating the wisdom of this entire enterprise, there'll be a knock on the front door.
Uh-oh.
That'll get everybody's attention.
I think that we all need to get into the basement.
What?
Or at least all of us probably need to be in the basement so we can make a quick exit if it turns out that is the watch or the night masks.
All right, so the knock is, confident, but not like, open up, it's the SWAT team. Confident sort of knock upon the front door. People will all look in the direction of the knock. Varys, who is the closest thing to a front door guard, will level his crossbow in that general direction and begin tentatively walking that way. Joel
I
will say,
usually go grab Gedrin.
I'll go around the room in just a second to see what you all do. Joel will say, I think we need to get to the basement in case that's the watch or the night masks, right? That's what you basically just said, Joel. Okay, so Joel's talking. Eric, you're like, beeline to the couch to get Gedrin. So that's out of the kitchen, past the library, across the entry hall to the sitting room to get Gedrin and back. Okay? Rhiannon?
Babies, I guess.
Okay, so you're following Eric because they're all in the same place.
Yep.
Okay, you've stacked all of your defenseless children in one location. All of your childlike eggs are in one basket. All right.
Yep.
Randy?
So are there cloaks hanging near the front door? Anything like that? Like
There are cloaks hanging along the wall of the entry hall, which is not against the front door, but near it.
along it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would whip off my hat, pull off my jacket, change my face as I'm walking towards the front door, grab a cloak, throw it on to disguise myself.
All right. This is no, Mr. Policeman. I'm not the notorious pirate king.
That's right.
Okay, got it. Check. And
Because
finally,
last time there was a knock on the door, it was Finnan, so I'm kind of like drawn to.
could be good, could be bad. Who knows? Okay, Allie. Last but not least. You are on mute.
Muted.
I'll try to take a position. I'll slip toward kind of near the door area and try to take a position kind of like hidden, but like
Okay.
with a
Flanking
hand on my dagger.
the door.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joel, you'll start talking and they'll split off into 5 different directions. What the? So what are you going to do when you see that they all walked away from you?
I'm gonna start moving. Yeah. Well, since they have the kids, I'll go ahead and start moving toward the basement because I really think that is the.
All right. So you're like,
Yeah.
screw these guys. I'm headed to the
Well,
basement.
I'm gonna
Well, I'll
stop
join. I'll join him there. I'm just getting the babies first.
Yeah.
stop
Okay.
at the top of the stairs and make sure that everyone is
So
joining us.
at first you're excuse me. At first you're headed in that direction just to verify that there aren't, goblins guarding the stairs. Just sort of look over there and then back towards the rest of the group. So you're moving as one.
That I hope.
Okay. All right. So in this moment, you will all set off to do what you're going to do. Eric and Rhiannon, you will get to the room where the couch is located. You'll start scooping up the kids. Randy, you'll get to the cloak pegs. You'll pull down a cloak. Presto changeo, you are not the notorious pirate king. Allie, you seeing Varys head for the door will sort of let him know that you're flanking the door. You'll go back against the wall, flanking the door. Right or left side? What do you like?
Which way does the door open?
The door opens, I believe, out. No, yes, the door opens in. I apologize. Left.
Opens
In and to the left.
Okay. All right. I will then post up kind of near the door, but kind of like obscured by it as it opens.
Okay, so left-hand side.
Mhm.
Got it. And Varys will go over towards the door to throw the bolt, see what's going on. Joel, you looked in the direction of the basement area, nothing there. Hustle back towards where you can sort of see what's going on with everybody else. When you all get to those positions, the door will glow for an instant. The entire door will glow for an instant, a bright emerald green, and then collapse into a rain of fine dust.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that was a thing. There'll be gasps from the mouths of people who could see that, and a figure emerges from a clinging, shadowy gloom beyond. You, Eric, can kind of see through that clinging, shadowy gloom, but you're kind of in the next room, so you can only see it at an angle. The figure, and I actually have a picture of this person, but I realize I don't know that I sent it to my technical wizard, is a individual in dark armor with dark, long, shoulder-length hair, pale skin, a gaunt but powerful-looking person of about 6 feet, 6'2", wearing or containing a bleached white skull face. It could be a mask from the look of it, because the rest of the person is corporated. Sound like someone you recognize, Eric?
Jesus, that's not good.
It's not Jesus. And and they will speak as you're all sort of staring at them and the door disintegrates in a sepulchral turn, flat but loud. Fools and children, did you think your attack upon us would go unpunished? Send out the one called Shadowbane, and the rest of you will be offered a mercifully quick death. Refuse this generous offer, and he's in the middle of that speech when, darting out from the kitchen, you're scooping up the kids, you're moving to the second phase of your plans. Darting out from the kitchen comes Jamal, who will say, pointing a wand at the front door, "To the abyss with you, blackguard," and spit out the phrase, "Shalas Tala." The wand will glow with power. The gem at the tip will sparkle, a radiant, cold blue, sea green light across the room, and a bolt of lightning will rip forth from it, slamming into the person speechifying in the doorway and spattering off him like the waves against a lighthouse. What would you like to do? Eric, we'll start with you.
Run.
Where are you now carrying one child running to?
Is there another exit from this place?
The back door.
Back door.
Basement.
but then we're caught in the basement or the sewers.
The
Is
sewer
that-
exit.
Okay.
We found the secret passage to the sewers. That was why I thought we should go to the
I'm
basement.
gonna get
Yeah.
covered in shit
They might,
again, aren't
they
I?
they might have people waiting at the back door.
Yeah, I guess sewers.
All right, basement it is.
Okay, so you will grab Gedrin and try to trot for the basement. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rhiannon.
Babies.
Okay, you're
Pretty much, yeah.
the proud owner of 2 babies, and now?
Basement.
Okay, so following in Eric's wake, Joel, are you going to like try to open the basement door?
Yes. I will wait till everybody else has passed me, and then move down after them.
Okay, so you're not actually opening the basement door. You're
Well, I'm getting the basement door open so that they can come past me, and
then
sort
get
of
them
chill
past.
out.
Got it. Okay, got it. Allie?
I'm kind of behind this asshole now, aren't I? It's like,
Sort of to the side of the ass. You're more of
Yeah,
a
I'm
cheek
like-
than a hole.
Hamstring. Hamstring.
I'm not dumb. I'm going to try to, I've been keeping track of how many times I've been using this thing,
Mhm.
but I'm going to try to use the armor to take me down to the basement.
All right, so try to leap down to the basement using the armor.
Yeah.
Okay, and Randy.
I'm going to rapidly retreat in the direction of the basement door and shout, "Jeeves to the quivering thumb! Warn Shadowbane!" And
Okay, excellent. A little classic misdirection. All right, if you could do
Yeah.
that 10-sided dice thing everyone seems to love so much.
a 5.
Okay, so
43.
43. I just
Or
needed,
just one?
yeah,
Was
just
it
one.
percentage? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'll re-roll one of them.
Yeah. Seems fair.
5.
Okay, so 5 for Rhiannon and 5 for Randy. Eric?
Oh,
Oh.
9.
9. Joel?
This kit's
8.
heavy.
8. And Allie?
5.
Okay, 5. All right, so the first person to go in dexterity order is going to be Allie. So you will speak the words and nothing happens. Now you know your answer.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Uh,
Allie.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you a little bit later in the initiative.
Okay,
It's going to take
okay.
you a bit of time to discover that just doesn't work the way you want it to. Next is Rhiannon. Eric is stumbling a bit. Gedrun just woke up, is a little bit heavier than he expected. But do you want to wait on him or screw Eric? I'm running. Okay. You'll go hustling across, babies in hand, as you see, she fired the bolt. That person is in the doorway. There's some drama, but you're like, I'm behind those guys. I'm getting across the hallway. All right. You'll get to near where the doorway is. You haven't gotten to it yet. Randy, also at a 5.
I'm continuing to retreat, and I will start to sing a song. Sing a
Yes,
song. Of bardic inspiration for my
Okay. Fair enough.
starting to build that up.
Joel, if you could roll a 20-sided die for me. You're at 8.
Oh,
This is going to happen at 7.
that's a 6.
Yeah. You know how dwarven ears pick up certain things and elven ears pick up other certain things, et cetera, et cetera. At least the sense, generally speaking. One of the things you guys are good at hearing is movements underground. And that basement is not unoccupied at present.
Oh.
That's the classic flanking maneuver.
Uh-huh. Man, they knew about the sewer entrance.
That's
I mean,
not
they are
good.
the night masks, so
That? Yeah.
they are. Well, I mean, the night masks they hang in the sewers, right?
Mm.
With their load-bearing statues.
They do. They like a good load-bearing statue.
In
Do you want to say
that
anything
case,
to your companion?
I I open the door, and I look down the stairs, and can I see anything?
All right, so you're, when you get to 8, going to open the door anyway. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see who's down there because we have to get out somehow.
All right. Also at 8, and occurring before you is a little talk back and forth. At the doorway, the individual who it's pretty clear that after that bolt of lightning, that cooperation is not going to be offered, will scoff and say, "Death and eternal servitude it is." And Jamal will respond, "If my wand might not fail you, but you and your kind are most certainly not welcome in my home." And back over to you, Joel. Door open. Roll a 20-sided die for me, would you?
That is a 12.
Okay. You can see a few things. One, there are a number of beings in here, half a dozen or so, that are a little bit warmer than room temperature. They're not alive by the traditional definition, but they're warmer than room temperature.
So they came in past the trap?
I'm getting there. The wards were clearly triggered, and there is one of them sitting cooked on the ground. But there are a half a dozen more loping their way up the stairs, and they stink. You haven't seen ghouls, but this might be them or something worse. You've got about enough time to go, oh, dunk, and close the door if that's your plan.
That is absolutely what I do.
Okay.
Slam the door shut again.
Door closes. You want to throw the bolt?
If there's a bolt to throw, yes.
There is. Okay, so Rhiannon, you and Randy will come trucking up to the door in time to see Joel open it, close it, and bar it. You get a moment to trade. Ghouls in the basement. Okay. Eric.
Back door?
You will scoop up young Gedrin, who's waking up and wondering what the heck is going on here. And you will come running across the entry hall. You'll see, oh, you get to see out the front door now. Could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
That's a 4.
Okay. So outside into the gloom, there's some sort of preternatural gloom. You recall that you were arriving and it was sort of false dawnish in terms of time frame. That means you're probably still an hour from dawn, but the sky was certainly lighter than it is out there now. And you can see these things, even if you can see through them, you can still sort of see that they exist as a sort of shroud or something like that. And there's this darkness out there that's almost alive in its sort of like sensual, like fluidic movement. So something where someone has dropped this down around the house, probably, to sort of cloak it in darkness, maybe to shield certain creatures from the coming dawn, maybe to just obscure the house for whatever activities are being performed. And there are just a bunch, probably 24 beings out there. There's this person in the doorway who's right up against the doorway, but not through it, right? There are a sort of group of hungry looking, clearly those are vampires because you recognize some of them, still a little burned, both emotionally and physically, from the experience at the Purple Lady. Thank you, Rhiannon, for the laughter. From the experience, I'm here all night. Please try the veal. From the experience at the Purple Lady. And then offset a bit, sort of maybe 60 feet from the door, standing in the center of them, with a little bit of cleared space around this person, is a long, dark-haired, pale-skinned wizard. Clearly got to be a wizard from the way that person is dressed. They carry with them an aura of power and authority, almost like they're in charge. And they're in the middle of doing something like that. You want to do something?
Right.
Do not like.
Eric, anything at all? Call out, run, think hard, good thoughts. What's your strategy?
I am gonna try and invoke the power of Helm again.
What power of hell are we looking for this time, Eric?
I want to try and dispel that darkness.
Okay, you want to try to dispel that darkness. I'm going to roll some percentile dice. Remember, I do this whenever anybody does something wacky.
Yep, this is something wacky.
And you're gonna roll a 20-sided die.
I mean, it's a high bar. Like we've been doing various wacky things so far.
Oh, this is just above and beyond the typical wacky Rhiannon. This is epic level wacky. Eric?
I rolled a natural 1.
A natural 1. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? You will feel like a pull. As you're trying to pull here, right, Mark? You're trying to pull here. You feel that this isn't giving you what you want. You can't quite connect to the main battery, but you've got something with you, something with you that you might be able to use to sort of stick it in the socket in order to be able to get that. You willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what happens. Few things in short order. Thing 1, you'll feel when you're willing to tap into Vindicator, you will feel the power flow, like you've connected the electrical circuit. The second thing that happens is Vindicator, which was just starting to blaze into life because there are bad things nearby, will just go dark, like the power just got drawn from the blade. And then in a rush of twisting energy, that will settle on the outside. It'll go up into the air and it'll shatter whatever that gloom is and restore the natural light levels, which are still dark, but not preternaturally dark. And you'll see all the vampires look skyward, but one who will complete his spell.
Yeah.
The spell, as it's completed, you saw a bolt of lightning, right? Not so long ago, being issued from Jamal's wand. This makes that bolt of lightning look like a child's spark. It is a forking, crackling bolt, streaking straight through the open doorway at Jamal. It will hit her in the chest, throwing her bodily against the back wall. Hang on, I need to roll a lot of d6.
Why'd you do the darkness?
What was I supposed to do otherwise?
Like interpose Vindicator, or well, I guess you're not near Jamal, so you can block it.
No, I'm across the hallway.
Oof. I gotta drop one of my d6. Oh my god. I'm bad at d6s, so I have to group them.
What was that thing I was saying last session about plot armor and how NPCs would try to help us get killed?
And not going back to Briarhouse because clearly we were being hunted by bad people? Yeah. Huh.
It's almost like you presaged this. Oof.
Well, honestly, if we hadn't gone back to Briarhouse, but say Jamal had.
Well, we told her to leave too, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
She would never leave her people.
No,
yes, you're probably right about that. Anyway, it's a moot point now. So that lightning will strike her, right? And it will send her spiraling and hurtling towards the back wall. She'll scream as it strikes her, but that scream will be cut off. And she will be smoking and twitching when she flies into that back wall, hits it, and slides down it at a very unnatural looking angle. If she's not dead, she's almost dead. That was a tremendous bolt of lightning. Here's the bad news about that tremendous bolt of lightning. It's not done just because it hit her.
Because it's chain lightning.
That is an
I know what
accurate
that looks
statement.
like.
Yep. And it will arc out away from her towards the nearest target. The nearest target in this case is Allie.
Okay.
As it jolts forward and slams into your space alley, one of the gems on the gauntlet will discharge in silvery radiance. And about 5 feet from your face, the bolt will hit and ricochet off. And now there's this faintly glowing sphere about 5 foot in diameter around you, crackling with electricity from the blast. The bolt will arc across the room. Eric, you're odd. Fortunately, it's even. That's fortunate for you, not so fortunate for the lad who lives in this house. Because he was near you, and the bolt arcing over in that general direction leapt to him instead of slamming into you. It will also hurl him bodily through the air, and he is dead before he even hits the ground. You're well aware of that, cooked from the inside out. The bolt will then leap to the staircase mount for the second floor and ricochet, because it's metal, up and around it. You can hear it booming its way across the second floor of this house. You escaped death by that much, Eric, because you don't have those little gems. I literally just rolled a 50% chance to see whether you lived or died.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
I get it.
So that's the end of that round. Allie, you've got about 3 seconds worth of something you can do or say at the end of that round.
I guess I'm gonna try. I can't. The outside's full of vampires. Got crazy wizards. Would I be able to, while the shimmering aura is still around me, bolt to where my comrades are?
Does the shimmering aura follow you? I don't know. You'll find out when you sprint into motion. You'll find out. I do want to make a point to all of you. There are 22 people, plus Mercy, plus Ferris, 24, 24, in this house, mostly in that sitting room that is across the Great Hall from where you are. Take that information and do what you will of it. Do you wish to sprint into motion, Allie, or stay where you are?
I'm pinned if I don't.
So sprint into motion.
Yeah, I'll sprint into motion.
Okay, you will discover almost immediately that field stays where that field was generated, much like the one that Randy set off on a previous occasion. And so you'll leave it when you depart it.
All right, okay, I'll have to do that, because otherwise I'm stuck in a corner by the door. That's not exactly
an ideal situation. I would agree with that.
No one sticks Allie in a corner.
Except Allie.
But yeah, you did mention that all those people are in the sitting room.
I did.
Instead of heading for the others, I'll see if I can make a dive for the sitting room then.
Okay, you will. Surprising everyone because no one knew you were back there. Make a blind run, maybe even slide using that keen elven dexterity into the sitting room ahead of everyone's action.
Do a whole somersault.
Yeah, do a whole somersault. At the beginning of the next round, because as I think I've said before, speaking goes first, the individual in the doorway will make a statement, and then I'm going to ask you all what you want to do for initiative. Let's just call him what he is. Vampire in the doorway will say, impressive, but a house without its owner is no longer a home. And so, on that note, what do you want to do this round, Eric?
We need to get out of here.
Can we still save Jamal?
Don't know yet.
I look down at the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I shove the kid toward safety, and then I charge at the vampire in the doorway.
Okay. So, sword out?
Yep.
Okay, got it. Eric, blind, running towards the vampire in the doorway. Is safety have a name? Is there a particular person for whom safety is associated, or just sort of away from trouble?
Just like away from trouble, like behind a wall,
Got it.
through a door,
Understood.
whatever I
You
could
could
do.
you could push him into the library.
I mean, we want to. I can't say that.
Yep. Well, you'll ponder where you're going to put him exactly. Rhiannon, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm consulting my friend.
Time to talk to your friend.
And it's not going to take a lot of time because what I'm going to say is, we are boned. What you got?
The answer is going to be fire. I always have fire, inside or outside of the house.
Can we keep it outside? I want to keep the people inside safe.
Okay.
All right, do it.
Okay. So whatever it tells you to do, you'll do. Okay.
I'll
Good
do.
to know. Joel?
So I am actually also going to try to talk to my voice, and I'm going to say, I screwed up last time by trying to call on you for healing, because you are not a god of healing. You are, however, a god of the sun, and I'm going to try to summon sunlight.
Okay, fair enough. Allie?
I mean, if this is the time for Mark chats, I don't have an easy manner of communicating with mine. But I'm basically, as soon as I slide and like tumble into the other room, I'm gonna be like, if there was ever a time for something big, it's now. Because if we don't get out of here, we are going to die. Please.
Okay, so beseech assistance. Randy?
Yes, like a power or something. I need something.
I guess I'll follow suit. I'll grab hold of the symbol of finder that I was given that had the little bit of a shock.
Yep.
And think of the symbol of finder that's on the front door of the house, and be like, finder, if you don't mind her, we're screwed in the behind her. We could use some help. And you know, maybe consecrate this place, shelter this place that has your symbol upon it, like make this a home of your artistry and followers, you know.
Excellent.
Lend us your aid now, kind of a thing.
All right. So I think I have a sense of what you're all doing. Those lovely dice you love rolling again. Okay. Rhiannon?
5.
Okay, 5 plus. Randy?
3.
3. Eric?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, 1 plus. Okay, Joel?
10.
10. And Allie?
3.
3. Okay, so the first person to go is Eric. He will basically jolt into motion at about 3 initiative order because you add 1 plus a modifier to get underway. What you had to sort of make a decision about what direction to push Gedrin in. What direction did you push him in?
Sitting room.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll just sort of, you can if you want to, just sort of hurl him over in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what you'll do, and then you will interpose yourself between that bad man and the rest of the house. Okay? And so you'll get there. You won't be able to swing with your sword quite yet because I've got a couple more 3s. So let me handle those 3s and then we'll come back to your weapon. Okay, so Allie is faster than Randy. So Allie, you're going to tap in and try to get, like, if there's ever a time with something big that somebody can help, and like that's what you're doing on the floor, right? Okay. You'll feel a building of power at your mark, right? Do you want to just let it go? Whatever it's got in mind.
Yes.
Okay. Your mark will flare to life, and in a silvery burst of power, a sphere about 15 feet in diameter. So basically, it will cover most of the sitting room and occlude the doorway, will leap into being. This is very similar to what you've seen Randy do when he was fighting the wolves, when he was keeping the vampires at bay in the Purple Lady. It's not at all what you expected. but you asked,
No.
and this is what you got. Okay. So that
Okay.
occurs at 3. Randy, at 3, you will begin your rather melodious intonation. And you will feel, okay, the medallion of finder that you have that you're holding vibrate in your hand. And you'll almost sense a resonance between the in your hand and the above the door. And then only you know this, literally only you know this, but an invisible barrier just dropped behind the vampire that had stepped through the previous barrier. So there's that vampire in the room. There's a whole bunch of vampires outside, but you get the impression that somebody just took possession of this place. Nobody's going to be able to evict that guy except through the appropriate notice and judicial proceedings. But the rest of those vampires, they're probably not coming in the door. You're the only one who knows that. Okay?
Okay.
That occurs at 3. Now we're back to Eric. Do you want to swing, Eric?
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I rolled a 5. So
Okay.
probably
Whoosh.
hit.
Wide with your weapon. It is not flaming for what that is worth.
Okay.
You would expect it to be. Okay. That brings us to Rhiannon. Repeat after me, it will say.
Can I still hold the babies, or do I have to put them
You
somewhere?
have to put them down.
Okay, can I put them through Allie's shield?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, so Allie, here I'm posting some babies through the door for you.
All right. I will take them.
All right, so
Thank you.
you'll take a slight delay,
Yes.
and then do that, and then begin intoning the words of magic that the thing asks you to recite.
Yep.
These are
Yep.
horribly bloody complicated, and it's taking a really long time. I hope that's an impressive spell. Next is the guy at the doorway. Eric, you swung at him. You missed him badly. He dodged. He hasn't even bothered to pull a weapon yet. And he's going to cock back his fist and punch at you.
Oh, he slaps you.
Okay, hang on. I need my black D20 for this. Oof. Yeah, you're easily hit, Eric. Your AC isn't fantastic, and this guy's, well, you might know who this guy is. Really high level.
I do actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is a good news, bad news situation. We've talked about these good news, bad news situations before.
There's good news.
Yes, the good news is that the amount of damage that he did not kill you outright. He will instead bloody you because pretty much any damage you take, you'll take 7 points. Bloody you and knock the sword out of your hand, knocking you to the ground. The bad news is that isn't it. In other words,
Did I get 2 levels of level drain and just die? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So your hang on a second. I have notes for what happens if somebody gets tagged by a vampire, and I dropped them 3 seconds ago. So give me a moment to find them. Okay. Okay. Oh, right in front of me, like I'm an idiot. Okay. You will feel an enormous feeling of soul-crushing weakness descend upon you as the darkness rushes up to claim you. And basically, it's like a tunnel of darkness that falls in front of you, and you're falling into that tunnel before you go black and hit the ground.
Mhm.
Everybody else that's a member of the group that bears the mark will have a feeling like a rolling gong striking through your hearts as the marks of above your hearts burst into silver radiance, and you know, bone deep, Eric just died. Eric is dead before he hits the ground. And on that note, we'll take our first break.
Okay.
Had to go and claim
Oh.
plot armor, Eric.
Yeah.
Talk to the DM and
And I
Oh, the
believe that was
inevitable consequences of your.
I think that was the first time any of us have taken even a single hit point of damage all campaign.
That is correct. The mark has been
well,
shielding
I mean,
you
how
from
many
that.
hit points do we have? Like 5? So-
Not enough. Not enough.
Not
Anyway,
enough, obviously.
We're on
But
break.
just like a 5-minute, real quick break.